What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel once more. Let's go ahead and talk about Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage is the sequel, of course, to the first Venom film. Now, when watching this film, it was a little bit hard to adjust to the fact that they're going more towards a comedic route. I mean, we saw it coming because of the trailer. The first film was not as comedic. It had a little bit of it, but this one has definitely a lot more humor to it. It's trying to be more humorous, trying to appeal to a bigger audience, and of course it's not rated R. That was one of the many complaints of the first film, and I had a hard time adjusting to this more humorous type of tone, especially with the relationship of Venom with Eddie. And that happened in the beginning, the way that they're bickering back and forth, and a lot of the times in the beginning of the movie, it's like it's trying too hard to be funny. I mean, it has some, I found myself chuckling a couple of times, like, hey, yeah, no big deal. And there's some things that I saw coming, like, for example, there's this scene where Eddie is falling from a rooftop, but, his hand manages, it's Venom's hand manages to grab on. He's just hanging, he gets a phone call, and then the girl's like, hey, Eddie, what are you up to? And then he's like, oh, just hanging around. I remember sitting in the movie theater, I was like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, he's gonna say it, and he said it. I was cringing a lot. I couldn't help it, but I found myself cringing a lot through the beginning of the movie because it was trying a little bit too hard. But it's something that I'm just like, all right, fine. I'll let it slide. I have to get through it. At least it's not as bad. It's not something that is gonna make me bring down the movie a lot. Woody Harrelson as Cletus Cassidy, he's great, and we saw it from all the teasers that we got, and since the ending credit scene of the first film. But I guess the only thing that I had a problem with was his motives to want to be evil. I mean, he was already crazy, and we get his background story. They don't waste too much time. They just get right to it through, not really flashbacks. There's this scene where Eddie's reading what happened to his past, and it's just like drawings that go on, and we see what happened. Now, I'm that type of person that I prefer to see what happened to a character in the past in order for me to understand him in the future or in the present, instead of getting exposition, instead of getting just some random flashbacks. But as I mentioned about motivations, it's not really directly said, oh yeah, I'm gonna take over the world or I'm gonna destroy the city, even though Eddie Brock mentions it at some point, saying, yeah, I have to stop Cletus because he's gonna take over this whole city. But if I remember correctly, Cletus never said it directly. He just wants to get his girl. He just wants to find the love of his life and get revenge on Eddie and Venom. So it's like a lot of personal motives. It's not really the whole world domination trope. One thing I was wondering about was that when Cletus gets the symbiote, he turns into Carnage because it came from Eddie's blood, and Eddie's blood has a symbiote of Venom. But now I'm not a comic book expert, so please correct me or just clear it out for me on this one, but I just don't understand how Cletus became Carnage. If it's the same symbiote, how does he become something much worse, something very different? Is it because Cletus was already crazy as his normal human being self? Or is it because the symbiote just became something entirely different just for the sake of having another villain, for the sake of having Carnage? And as far as Venom, it was, like I said before, it was hard to adjust to see him out in the real world. There's this scene where he's out in a party. He's out, just interacting with other human beings. Because of that, definitely in this movie, we see a lot more character development in terms of Venom. We definitely see a lot more humanity in his character. We still have these moments where he has no consideration. He just wants to eat humans. But it definitely shows a lot more emotional side, and a side that it shows the bond between him and Eddie. So in the end, I will say that Venom, Let There Be Carnage is worth having a movie night. At the end of the day, with all the nitpicks, or somewhat nitpicks that I had, there's just a few problems with the movie, but it was enjoyable enough to go watch it. Alright, so now let's talk about the end credit scene. If you do not want to know, if you don't want me to spoil it for you, then hey, then click out of this video right now, and thank you so much for watching. But if you just don't care, or you just don't want to wait, if you don't care about spoilers, then stick around and let's go ahead and talk about this end credit scene. So finally, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Venom is about to come face to face with Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man. If if you stuck around to the end credit scene, then we saw that him and Eddie, they're somewhere in a hotel, and then they're watching TV, and then we see the news report of Jonah Jameson, his reporting that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. The whole world, the whole city knows that he's Spider-Man. Everyone thinks that he killed Mysterio. So in that moment where the news report is going on, Venom is like, oh, this guy, we gotta get this guy, because before that, they're having a conversation. Venom and Eddie are having a conversation about where they're gonna go, and Eddie tells them, oh, you know what, we'll go wherever they need us, some place where they need a lethal protector. So of course, New York is that vulnerable city that is somehow in need of a protector, because they're not really looking up to Spider-Man anymore, because he's seen as a villain, he's seen as a killer. This is the way that they want to bring Venom in, because they need a city to protect. So they're seeing that New York cannot trust Spider-Man anymore, so then they're gonna go. But I'm definitely excited to see, if you've been waiting this whole time to see Venom fight face to face with Spidey, then hey, we got it. Let me hear it from you guys, your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Remember to keep watching me and keep watching movies.